ॐ विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यस्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्रचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ Meditation on Meditator. So we discussed yesterday what is meditation? Relating to Ishvara mentally. The mental activity whose subject matter is Ishvara. Centered on Ishvara, any mental activity is meditation. And there are varieties of activities centered on Ishvara. Starting from Manas Puja to chanting mentally the hymn in praise of a Lord, or do a mental chant, japa. Basic question is, one who relates mentally to Ishvara, which is called meditation, that person should be meditator. If he is really a meditator, the meditation will be successful. If he is not a meditator, well, it won't be successful. That shows the person should become, not become as such, but take it for a moment. Person should become meditator. Swami, I think this is all your imagination. One who relates mentally automatically is meditator. No. If that is the case, the person he automatically becomes meditator. Bhagavan would not discuss meditator. He would discuss only meditation. Because by default everyone is a meditator. But no. Bhagavan discusses in chapter 5 towards the end. And in chapter 6, a lot of portion is devoted to meditator. And therefore, he expects that we should become meditator in order to meditate. And we discussed yesterday about meditator also. A basic person. Who the basic person living a life relates to the world, assuming a role. Relating to son, the same basic person becomes a parent, father, mother. Relating to father, mother, the same basic person assumes. son, daughter, whatever. There's one basic person. Not the persons are different. One person becomes son and parent, both. Means these are the assumptions. This we call role. We'll be discussing this today. Very essential to know. It is to be appreciated properly. That basic person. Who is that basic person? Knower, doer, desirer? No, knower is a basic person. As you wake up in the morning, you open the eyes. You are a doer or a knower? Knower. Right? The first person which is invoked from you when you get up is a knower. Then you desire, etc. The same knower also can become a liker, disliker. With respect to his or her likes, this knower becomes a liker. With respect to dislikes, he becomes disliker. Liker or a disliker, whatever he likes or whatever he dislikes, he knows. You cannot have a likes and dislikes without knowing a given thing. I don't have a dislikes regarding several objects which are available in the Costco or whatever. I don't know. Knowing, desiring, doing. That's it. That is the krama. Knower is a basic person. Knower is a basic person. The cognitive person is a basic person. A conscious being. Knower means what? Conscious of. That's it. One is a conscious being by default. I will not talk about Atma anyway, which is self-evident, etc. But you are a conscious being by default, not by your will. In fact, when you are a knower, you drop your will. You cannot know if you don't drop your free will. Free will means choosing. You can't choose the object of knowing. As the object is, you should know. If you desire to know it differently, you choose that way. That's not a knowledge. Rope is to be known as a rope. No, I choose to know it as a snake. Well, that's not knowledge. This free will choosing, which is a privilege, well, you can exercise your privilege or you can drop it. Please understand this very well. So as a knower, as a conscious being, well, it is not will-based, And to arrive at this conscious being, the basic person, one need to have a lot of objectivity. To arrive, to do a meditation centered on Lord, one should become meditator. To arrive at this meditator, there are steps. That's also meditation. Meditation on meditator. We'll be discussing the steps. In fact, we do in the morning also. So you have now a little picture of how to arrive at this basic person. Anyway, so the meditator is therefore arrived at by being totally objective. Objectivity is an acceptance of a fact, which I will talk to you. What is this actually? So the basic person, this individual, a conscious being, remains related to Ishvara. The total that I talked to you yesterday, it's irreplaceable relationship. All relationships are incidental. One relationship which never goes throughout the life, and even the next life, and even the next life, and even the next life, is a relationship with Ishvara. an individual is totally related to Ishvara all the time. Anyway, so whether the tree actually is in the forest recognizes this fact or not, that it is related to the forest, it always remains related. That the forest pervades the tree is already an existent fact. However, this existent fact, of course, may not be there in tree's awareness. That is possible. Same way here also, the connection with the totality, the individual, is already there. You may not be aware of. To bring that awareness of my connection to Ishvara, which is irreplaceable, there are all karmas, starting from physical activity. Kayika karmas. Puja also is relating to Ishvara. Vachika karmas, verbal activity. Chanting a hymn, etc. is also relating to Ishvara. Manasa karma, of course, also is relating to Ishvara. So all these karmas basically are there in our Shastra, which we call religious activity. That is basically meant for to bring the awareness of the total, the Ishvara, in this individual. And when you do these karmas relating to Ishvara, you definitely have a result, seen and unseen. I told you yesterday. Drashtam, adrishtam. Drashtam means you will experience after the karma is over. And unseen, which we call punyam, will help you in your progress of spiritual life, which we call grace of Ishvara. It's a karma phala of my own karma. But basically, we call it grace, because which good karma has given me which kind of a result in terms of removing obstacle, etc., I do not know. Therefore, it is coming from Ishvara, and so I call it as a grace of Ishvara. So this is regarding the meditator. Now, basically what Bhagavan talks about meditator, as I told you. Bhagavan talks about the meditator in 5th chapter, 6th chapter. What does he talk? So first we'll discuss that, and then we'll go to exactly the steps of meditation to arrive at the meditator. So in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan directs actually us step by step in the meditation, and he mentions an important point about this meditator. While mentioning that, very most important thing is, and even Puja Swami used to emphasize a lot, and that is sparshan kritva bahihi bahyan chakshushchaivantare bruho, etc. The important part is this. Sparshan kritva bahihi bahyan. Sparshaha. Sprushante iti sparshaha. That which are contacted. The objects of the world are contacted. Sparsha, contact. Contacted through what? Sense organs. Sense organs contact the external world in terms of forms, taste, touch, etc. So those objects of the world which are contacted through the sense organs are called sparshaha. Those objects of the world, Bhagavan says, bahyan, they are external. Bahyan sparshan. These external objects, bahihi kritva. The external objects, keep them external. Very ridiculous statement, right? Very ridiculous. The objects are external and which are contacted through the senses and brought to the mind, inside, internal. Those objects are external. Who am I to keep them external? They will remain external, but no, this is Bhagavan's statement. Means there are some objects which are external, remain external. There may be some objects who are external, become internal too. That is, and therefore Bhagavan advises, while talking about this meditation or meditator, that while the meditator, in order to be a true meditator, has to keep everything outside, other than Ishvara, of course, because he wants to relate mentally to Ishvara. And Ishvara is a very poor guy, really. Therefore, all these people to whom I am intimately related, they remain inside. Whether you go to New Zealand, Timbuktu, anywhere, they will travel with you without tickets all the time. That's how the basic person is never invoked. If in your mind there is a son, you are father automatically, or a mother, whatever. Where is basic person? Who has to become meditator? Therefore, if one wants to become a meditator, one should be a basic person, free from all these roles, right? And therefore, these people who are there in your mind, well, they are not just external, they are internal also. So, objects, mountains, and this and that, they are external. And one should really observe, who am I which basically who is conscious of the mountains and rivers and sun and birds and sky. And there is a part of the world, especially the people, etc. Well, they are not just external, they are internal also. So, Bhagavan is talking with reference to such people with whom we are in close contact, while every day get loaded in our heads without our knowledge. And before we meditate, we must unload them from inside our heads, because they are loaded without my knowledge. Now I want to sit in meditation, wants to relate to the Ishvara, then these people should be out. And therefore Bhagavan is telling with reference to these people who are already loaded in our mind. They are internal also, not just external. A person gets loaded in our head, well, mainly because you want the person to be different from what he, she is. So the husband wants to change his wife right from the day of marriage. And the wife also wants to change the husband even before the marriage. And after 25 years of marriage, still they are in a process of changing each other. In fact, marriage has not begun. Really? Marriage means what? Marriage means what? Swamiji, I love her. Or she says, I love him, whatever. Right? And so you marry. You want to live under one roof. The basic principle of the marriage is that you love the person and so you accommodate the person as he or she is. So even after 25 years of marriage, if a person is in a process of changing other, then she's trying to change you and you are trying to change her, and then marriage has not yet begun. And this is the case with everyone to whom I am intimately related. And we should know very well that it is impossible to change a person unless the person himself, herself wants to change. And the best example in Mahabharata is Lord Krishna himself, who has taken an incarnation as a Lord Krishna. He could not change Duryodhana, you know very well. That shows very clearly, if Lord could not change the person, then definitely struggling day in and day out to change the person, well, is not going to be successful. So nobody can change anybody. Take this home. Take this home. Now, Swamiji, we have taken home. I'm sure this is not easy. It's easier said than done. This is not easy. If this much is done, you will be always a relaxed person. I'm guarantee you. I'm giving you guarantee. Person enters inside in form of a wish demand, and he keeps you under stress. Simple principle, nobody can change anybody. And if person wants to change himself or herself, you cannot even, prevent it from changing also. Nobody can stop it even. And well, of course, Bhagavan provides the help, but first you have to decide to change. And if I decide to change, well, definitely, then the first thing is, well, I should basically accept, well, the person as it is. That is the first thing in that. So, and for that purpose, if I want to change myself, well, first thing is, whenever I decide, I should be able to unload the person from my mind. That's better. And well, for that purpose, I have to accept the person as it is. And so many things are there in that. So when you want to, well, change a person actually in which you cannot, then your wish turns into helplessness. And that helplessness continues for some time, turns to frustration, stress, etc. And so definitely, so that person is not just outside, who is a source of frustration, is not outside. He is inside, in form of a wish. Anyway, so person might have moved away from you physically, still basically he continues to remain in your head and remain a source of frustration. Anyway, so Lord Krishna spends a lot of time discussing this meditator. So, and I become a meditator only when I unload these people which are there within me. Then only I can become meditator. Otherwise, I cannot relate mentally to the God. God should be there, at least in the mind, to relate to. That is not there, because these people have occupied the place inside. So anyway, and how can I unload? As I told you, by simply dropping the wish for a person to change. For that, what should I do? Well, you need to understand that basically all impressions of the people in my mind are based on my perceptions of the people. So I perceive the person in a one way, and that then remains in my mind as an impression. So you recognize that, well, if you want to unload the person, you should recognize that this person, basically, this is how this person is in my perception. This is how the person is in my perception. Most important thing is, when you say this is how the person is, no. It is not, and basically you will not be able to unload. When you say this is how the person is in my perception, and when you perceive a person, it is all the time fraught with the ignorance. You cannot know the person, you cannot perceive the person totally. No one can do. Only one person can do, if you want to say, one who has a total knowledge about the person. He perceives totally. Whereas the person with a small knowledge, if I perceive somebody, that perception is not a total perception. So we have to say, well, this is how this person is in my perception. Very important. And when you understand that your perception can be wrong because of the ignorance, well, you have accepted the reality. This is how the person is in my perception. It could be something different also. And generally our perceptions are wrong about the person. In fact, we change the perception of the person very next day. Even after few hours also we change. No, Swamiji, now that person I have, when I interact, I found he's a better person. So we change. Totally contrary opinion we give. That shows, well, our perception can be wrong. That's a reality. That's a fact. And when you say that this is how the person is in my perception, you are accepting the reality. In my perception, such a person is like this. So you are accepting the reality. And acceptance of reality is objectivity. This is the objectivity. That is, well, and to that external world, of course, with the people, etc., you are objective now. You are conscious, you are objective. And then to your own body also, you are conscious of your body and objective also. This is how my body is in my perception. This is how my mind is in my perception. This is how my knowledge is in my perception. This is how my memory is in my perception. So the basic person is a simple conscious being, conscious of everything. Well, you arrive at this basic person by just becoming an objective. And to be getting this objectivity, you have to say this. Well, I grant the freedom to this person. This is how the person is in my perception. Then, once you acquire this objectivity, you become basically you arrive at the meditator or the basic person. Swamiji, basic person or meditator? Basic person. We are asking again, basic person or meditator? Meditator. Why you are saying like, because the basic person only becomes meditator, relating to Ishvara mentally. You need to be a basic person. That basic person only relates to the world also, assuming a role of son, father, etc. But well, when you relate to the God, definitely you are not son. Son doesn't meditate. Daughter doesn't meditate. He's a meditator who meditates. And that meditator is just a basic person. Right? And therefore, well, this is what Bhagavan said regarding meditator in a chapter of meditation. That is towards the end of 5th chapter as well as 6th chapter. Okay. Now we have to do a meditation step by step to arrive at the meditator, which we are doing in the morning and tomorrow also we are going to do. But I am giving you now steps. If you want to just write down, you can write it down. What happens is, in a practice of meditation, these are the steps to be followed to arrive at the basic person or meditator. First is a posture of the body for meditation. And that is, well, one has to sit erect with your hands. On the lap, fingers gently clasped together and thumbs, of course, separately touching each other. And these are the steps based on 6th chapter only I am giving, where Bhagavan says some important steps for meditation. And as I told you, the first step is a posture of the body for meditation. As body, especially the trunk part, well, is perpendicular to the base of the body. And well, Bhagavan says it should be samam. I will tell you the verse. Samam kaya shirogrivam dharayan achalam sthiraha. Samam kaya. Kaya means this trunk. Samam means a straight. In a straight line. Head, neck and back is in a straight line perpendicular to the base of the body. So the body must be relaxed but stable. So it means for the entire length of meditation, basically, you are in a same posture. Most important. If you change the posture, well, you have now, come out of the meditation. So you remain in the same posture without tension or discomfort. So that is how we always say, choose a posture, well, of the body in which you can remain comfortable, well, for a 20-25 minutes. Before I go further, I will tell you, people ask about the duration of meditation. It should not be more than 20-25 minutes. Swamiji, you took 35 minutes. That's my liberty, okay? But generally, sit for 20-25 minutes maximum. Even that is also, if you are not comfortable, sit for 15 minutes. But basically, whatever the time you sit in the meditation, whatever the posture is there, you select your posture in such a way that you don't change it in between during meditation. So, and sitting posture should have a broad base and should be comfortable. And you need not sit, this is Vedantic meditation, you see, you need not sit in a specific posture. But if you choose to be in a certain posture, then you should not change. That's the thing. So, therefore, for a length of time, you should remain in the same posture. In the beginning, perhaps you may have some difficulty, but with practice, you get accustomed to comfortably sitting for a long time also. And when you sit in a same posture for 48 minutes, they call it as a asana siddhi. We don't require, but that's how they say. It's asana siddhi. If you sit for one muhurtam, 48 minutes, then it is called asana siddhi. Anyway, so scripture basically recommends two asanas for meditation. One is a swastikasana. Another is a padmasana, a cross-leg seated posture, for meditation. Asana, sitting in this kind of asana, if I sit in padmasana, Swamiji, my meditation will be successful or not. That has nothing to do with the success. So asana does not give you a guarantee basically for successful meditation. So it's only, a particular asana will make you give you a certain physical comfort. It has nothing to do with the success of meditation. Success of meditation is what the steps we are going to discuss now. On those steps, if you do diligently, day by day, that's called practice. If you do day by day, then you will definitely have a successful meditation. Anyway, but so posture must be comfortable enough for meditation. But at the same time, it should not be too comfortable also. People sometimes lie down in the bed, or they in a reclined position, they sit in a sofa or some lazy boy chair or something. There are all chances one will definitely, get a sleep. Even in this kind of a chair, which is not really a comfortable, still you see the snoring in the I could not see because of the dark, but I hear. And it is not just in my meditation session, in everyone's meditation. So that happens. So basically, physical comfort should be there of a posture for meditation. At the same time, it should not be too comfortable also. So that's the thing. And once you sit in this posture, do not look up, down. That's what Bhagavan said. So, samam kaya shirokrivam dharayan achalam sthiraha sampreksha nasikagram swam dishascha anavalokayan. So, while sitting in meditation, then don't see here and there and who has come and who has not come, etc. So, once you sit in the posture, do not look up or down, left or right, look straight ahead. And eyes are gently closed. That is very, very important. Focused on the tip of the nose, or gently closed. You must have seen the meditative posture of Lord Buddha. You will see there. It is there are no wrinkles on the eyelids. Softly close. Some people close it like this. So then there is no relaxation. So if there are wrinkles on your eyelids, that shows you are not comfortable. So just gently close, softly close. And for that purpose, you should open the eyes, close again softly, gently. Again open the eyes, again then close it. So do it 2-3 times, so you will understand that, definitely this is a simple act of the closing of eyes also. In that you can find a relaxation. So this is regarding even the face, etc. Then the next step, this is posture of the body for meditation. Then next step is, as I told you, you practice basically keeping the external world external, same. Sparshan krutva bahihi bahya. a few visualizations has to be done, which are external, and we want to keep them external. First, we should visualize the external things which are external and which remain external. With respect to those visualizations, who am I? You should see. Right? Relating to that, relating to those things, who am I? So, well, visualize a range of mountains, let us say. So, relating to the mountains, well, basically you are a non-demanding, appreciative, conscious person, conscious of the mountains. So, take that note of this. Then, well, ocean, etc. That also you visualize an ocean. You don't want an ocean to be different from what it is. I hope so. People may be thinking the ocean looks blue, it should be green or red, etc. Then it's a different thing. But generally, that is why I don't want to, it is little going away from this topic. That is why people say world is a problem. It is not correct. It's not correct. The same world, when you interact with, when you relate to, well, you are comfortable. And that world, we call it as a nature. That's what it is. Same person. When he goes to, the ocean, on the, or just seeing the sky, just go to the terrace and see the sunrise, or see the beautiful sky, and, the birds are flying. All this, when you see river bed, a forest, you are very comfortable. And same person comes home and interact. Again gets stressed. Again he wants to go there. So in one world, how can it be possible that the part of the world brings stress and part of the world does not bring stress, gives comfort? It is one world. Only thing is, my own demands for the people around me, the world which is intimately connected to me. Towards that world, I have a lot of demands. I don't want to accept them as they are. The way I accept the mountains, etc., as they are, I am not ready to accept this. And therefore, I remain stressful. And therefore, if you want to be a comfortable person, well, definitely, you have to unload these people as we were discussing. So anyway, so visualize the mountains, visualize the ocean, visualize a group of trees in a park, etc., or on a trail, and well, you are the same appreciative, non-demanding, conscious person. This is your beauty. And then come to the people. Visualize, people in general. People of different religions, race, culture, nationality. And here also you can be the same objective person. Was there while visualizing the mountains, etc., you can be the same objective person if you take them as they are. Right? If you don't want them to be different from what they are, tall, short, male, female, white, black, in between. So, well, if you do not nurse any kind of a prejudice for people in terms of a race or religion or nationality, etc., well, you are objective to all of them. So these are the steps to be done. Then think of your mother. And then, well, and also the love and care which you have for her, etc. So without disturbing these sentiments, you think of your mother. So if you have an agenda, well, basically of wanting her to be different from what she is, well, you experience a sense of helplessness. A wish unfulfilled, well, it can become a source of helplessness, source of frustration if it is not acted upon. In order to get rid of this helplessness, you should take help. The only help available is, frankly speaking, a prayer. You are striving a lot to change her. You have said so much. Hours and hours you talk to her. Nothing changed. Because the mother comes from a different background. She has a different social background, a different religious background. She has a different type of a parentage. She has a psychological baggage. Everyone, it's a journey from previous life. And person's behavior is based on background. Just on background. You cannot change the background. You can appreciate there is a background. You need not know also the background. You need not know what background a person has. There is a background. My behavior is based on a certain background, a social background, cultural background, psychological background I have. So she also has. And therefore, basically, as we discussed also, we cannot change the person because already there is a background. And therefore, definitely, still, you feel helpless because you could not change. And if helplessness continues, will turn into frustration. Permanent source. Mother becomes a permanent source of the stress, tension, dissatisfaction, frustration. I'm just saying, no, Swami, I love my mother. But love and care makes the person demanding. That's the issue. One need not be a demanding person if one loves. Our love, we say, just because I love a person, just because I care for the person, I demand. I'm trying to justify it. One should not. Love and care for the person is there. It's acceptable. But basically, it need not make you tense, dissatisfied, frustrated. My agenda to change the person from what she is, well, definitely makes me tense. So, basically, to get rid of this helplessness, since I could not change her, well, you should act upon your helplessness. To remove the helplessness, you should seek help. Seeking help of Ishvara. Prayer for her. In your daily prayer, add a prayer that, please, Swamiji, it is for her sake I am telling you. That's true. Still, it's for her good, for her welfare I am telling. Good. So act upon it in terms of prayer. At least Ishvara can do something. Yeah, a person cannot do, that's a different thing. So in the form of a prayer, well, no other effect, as I told you, no other effort is productive to change the person. That only is. So for the time being, well, definitely accept. Then this is how this is how your mother is. So given her background, she cannot be different. And well, unless she wants to change. If she wants to change, fine. You wanted her to change. And she decides to change. Well, that's fine. You wanted to change her and she doesn't decide to change. It's frustration. That's a frustration. And if she decides to change and now you don't want her to change, you can't do anything. That's how it is. That's how it is. So anyway, so you accept. This is how my mother was. Sometimes person has gone, still, it remains a source of dissatisfaction. So that's how earlier I was not telling in meditation that was, but now I have started. So this is how the person was in my perception. Tomorrow my perception, I might have to change. Tomorrow I might have to change the perception about the person when somebody gives some information about her or him. I might have to change. I am ready to change. That's objectivity. That's objectivity. Accepting the fact my perception could be wrong. Generally it is wrong. Generally it is wrong. If you just see your past, you have perceived the person in a one way and you yourself have changed the perception later about the person. So many times. And again you have brought the same perception. Again you have changed. People keep changing their perceptions about the world, etc. About politicians, about president, everything. About everything. Anyway. So this is mother, then father. Same way, visualize the father and recognize this is how the person is in your perception, according to your perception. Then same thing is true for basically spouse, children, siblings, friends, employer, employee. That's also issue. When you work somewhere, you find your employer, your boss. Oh, Swami, he's terrible. So anyway, so this is how they are in your perception. So if any person who bothers you, objectify that person in meditation, grant him or her the freedom to be what the person is. And this is how you have to deal well with that person. Pragmatically, you can say, well, objectively. Here, I would like to tell you one thing which would be the question in the evening, but before that only I will solve you. And that is, I am not saying that you should approve anybody's behavior. Please understand. This is the way we are doing. This is a process we are doing in order to be a successful meditator. For that purpose, I have to unload them so that I can relate mentally to Ishvara. And my meditation should be successful. So, that person, Swamiji, he's behaving like this and you are saying this is how the person is in your perception and you should grant freedom. I'm not saying to approve anybody's behavior. We simply acknowledge at this point that this is how this person is. Understand? We are not approving anybody's behavior. We are simply acknowledging that this is how the person is in my perception. If I do that, I'm granting the freedom, the person is unloaded from your head. It was already loaded without my knowledge. Remains all the time. Right? Wherever I go, whenever I go, they remain. Then, well, I cannot become a basic person, meditator, etc. And so, we are just unloading all of them from our head, granting them freedom to be what they are. And this is deliberately, what we are doing is should be done deliberately every time when you sit in meditation. You have to arrive at this basic person who is a meditator. Okay. So regarding the world, so we have dealt with, we have settled our account so far as the external world is concerned. Then the next is bring your attention to your own body. And so for that purpose, you have to visualize the body, whole body, part by part, from head down to the feet, in particular order. Start from the head. Begin with the visualizing the head, forehead, eyebrows. Visualize, meditation. So eyebrows, eyelids, and then nose, lips, chin, then right earlobe, right cheek, left earlobe, left cheek, etc. And then, around the neck and around the neck, then the whole face, back of the head, and then visualize the right shoulder and right hand up to the fingertips, left shoulder, then and up to the fingertips, all the way up to fingertips. Then visualize the chest, abdomen, and back from the shoulders, etc. That's also you have to visualize. You have to visualize part by part because we want to objectify the whole body. You can objectify it if you visualize it part by part. Otherwise, the visualization is not complete. So visualize the chest, abdomen, back from the shoulders down. Then bring your attention to the legs. So visualize the right thigh and the knee, and well, below the knee, ankle and foot. Then visualize the left thigh, left knee, ankle, foot, etc. So visualize the entire body now, in one sweep of vision now, you will be able to do. And then say mentally, this is how this body is, in terms of height, weight, gender, looks, color, etc., etc. Health. And when you visualize like this, your whole body as a breathing statue, well, you have accomplished the stage of objectifying the body totally. You are objective to the whole body because you are looking to the whole body as a breathing statue. So that is also over. First world, then body. Then now, watch your breath. So that we call it as a witnessing the breath. And this must not be confused with pranayama, which is a form of basically a breathing exercise. Here we call it as a prana vikshanam, means in which you watch your breathing, not a breathing exercise. So as you breathe, well, be conscious of your inhalation, exhalation present in the nostrils. And if you have a difficulty, well, basically observing your own breathing, then without changing a breathing pattern, then you consciously breathe in and breathe out consciously for some time. Then you will be definitely able to observe your own breath. And observing the breathing, our own breathing, is a very rewarding technique. The best technique for quietening the mind. So during the day, whenever you get angry or you become so anxious, just observe your breath for some time. And automatically your mind becomes quiet. That is there. Then the next step is to be conscious of the sensation of touch. And you can understand that you become awareful of the sensation of touch, like various parts of the body touch each other in a sitting posture. The parts of the clothes touch your body, various parts of the body. Then also the lips touch each other. The eyelids touch each other because it's closed. So like that. So you become conscious of the various sensation of the touch. And after successfully accomplishing this, well, start watching your own mind. Begin to watch your own mind. And the watched mind is generally quiet. Let it be so. So basically, one who is conscious of the mind is you, the basic person, who is a conscious person. Conscious of mind. You can say, I am conscious of my mind, well, as a basic person. Or you can say, I am conscious of breathing, conscious of body, conscious of the world. Why I am not saying that? Because conscious of the world is through the mind. I am conscious of the mind conscious of the world through the mind. Conscious of the senses through the mind. Conscious of the breathing through the mind. Ultimately, I am conscious of the mind. So basically, he's a basic person. Just simple conscious person who is totally objective and naturally relaxed. That is the thing. Anyway, and then once you have arrived at this basic person, well, he visualizes an altar of Ishvara in mind and relates mentally. How? Do a Manas Puja. Right? Place a flower to the altar, do salutation, sit in front and do chant. Manas Japa you can do, or you can chant, well, Shiva Manas Puja, or you can chant Krishna Manas Puja, you can chant Devi Manas Puja. There are so many Manas Pujas also, etc. How to relate, as I told you, differently, but all this is just mentally. That becomes meditation. Anyway, so by just being objective to the world, to your body, to your breathing, etc., to your mind, you are conscious, cognitive, and objective person. And you can hear words sound, but will is suspended. As a cognitive person, the will is suspended for the time being. That's how I said free will, well, is a privilege. Being a privilege can be used, can be suspended. Any privilege can be used, can be suspended. And therefore, in this way, as a simple conscious person, you are aware of what is happening in each moment. That's how Pujyami used to say. As a conscious, simple conscious person, you are aware of what is happening now. What is happening now? Now. So, this person, basically, you can appreciate it is without any tension. No tension. Being objective, no tension. And he's just himself. Right? He's just himself. There is no tension. And to be just himself, there is no effort. Just we have done few steps by which we have become objective and we have arrived at this basic person. Well, so this person, conscious person, is a basic person who becomes meditator. And you should also appreciate, if you are able to appreciate that you are comfortable just being yourself as a basic person, well, I don't need comfort from outside. Naturally. I become a source of comfort for others. More you do this practice, more you will be familiar as a basic person, which is comfortable. More comfort in your life. And more comfort just being myself without effort. Well, you can be a source of comfort to others. When you find comfortable just being myself without any effort, well, I can be a source of comfort to others. Otherwise, I seek comfort from outside. If you don't know yourself as a basic person, you are comfortable. Without effort, you are comfortable. Just being myself, well, then you seek comfort outside. If you know this, well, you don't seek. Anyway, so it's a great discovery that one doesn't need a comforting from outside. This basic person is the one who lives a life relating to the world. Then if I am comfortable, why stress? There is an issue. We'll discuss tomorrow. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.